North Longboat Key or North Siesta Key? Which one do I choose and why? So many people come here because of our island living, but all of our islands are so unique, so different. The lifestyles vary wildly. I'm going to explain two of the area islands lifestyle in today's video just to give you an idea of what is it really like living on either island, either North Longboat Key or North Siesta Key. So please stay tuned to today's video. First of all, where are each of these islands I'm talking about? So, geographically speaking, we work an area from Anna Maria. Well, I do. Anna Maria all the way south to Minnesota Key. So, where does North Longboat Key and where does North Siesta Key lie in that mix? So, it starts at Anna Maria Island, then it goes Longboat Key. We kind of skip past the smaller islands of Lido and Bird Key to get to Siesta Key. And then beyond that, further south, is Casey Key and Minnesota Key. So from Anna Maria, we're going to talk North Longboat Key right there, and then North Siesta Key. So that's the geography. And I've found over the years and working with buyers, when they have no idea the area, I have a lot of questions for my buyers. Like, what is your lifestyle? And I have found, like I said, over the years, that buyers tend to gravitate toward one of these beautiful islands for one reason or another. It's just kismet. I don't know how else to explain it but that, because everybody's got their vibe and their time in their lives, and maybe they've already had the large house on the mainland and now they want to downsize into a condo, or maybe they want to have a little boat where they can putz around and work in the yard, or and so North Longboat is the quieter side, to South Longboat Key. So we'll start on Longboat Key. So if you're living on North Longboat Key, it sits on the Manatee County side. So Longboat Key stretches from Sarasota to Manatee County. So we're talking the north side, which is all Manatee County. And when I think of Manatee County, the Manatee County side, I think Whitney Beach. And that Whitney Beach area, I recently sold a house on South Longboat Drive. And that's the very first one that comes to mind, probably because it was a recent sale. And what's beautiful about the north end is a lot of those homes have that walkability off of Broadway. And Broadway connects you. It's a through street that goes east-west. And it connects you to the public beach on the west side there. So from my little listing on Longboat Drive South to the beach is a very short walk. So it's easily walkable in the summertime, even when it's very hot and humid. And you can walk to Whitney's Bodega. You could arguably walk to the Shore restaurant that is east on Broadway on the water side. There is a liquor store nearby. There's Anna Maria to the north, and those beaches and those bars and restaurants. And the overarching theme, I would say, for North Longboat is a slower pace, yet accessible. So you have Longboat Key, that is the only local Sarasota island with a golf course. It's a private golf course on the island that stretches from the Gulf side to the Bay side. And in the Longboat Key Club, which is an optional club to join, you have golf membership options. You have tennis and you have social. And so there's that whole club vibe that is on the south end of the key, but right. So it's just a feeling that if you pass, the Longboat Key Club and you're going into town, you'll be able to enjoy the golf course views from Gulf of Mexico Drive. And you're not too far from St. Armands Circle and all those more European flair restaurants. And that would be kind of an epicenter. If either St. Armands Circle or Anna Maria Island would be like your epicenter. And As far as groceries, there is a Publix grocery store on Longboat Key. So from the north end, like where I'm talking about Broadway and Longboat Drive South, to the Publix is kind of right in the middle of Longboat Key. So for your day-to-day groceries, there's the grocery store there that of course everybody knows, the Publix. And like there's a smattering of like coffee shops, there's a Pilates place, there's like, the majority of the action though is going to be either on Anna Maria or to the south, like St. Armands. So it's a different vibe than say like Country Club Shores, which is a single family inlet community on the south side of Longboat Key. Just a different feel. You're closer to St. Armands Circle there. You're opposite the golf course community side of the Longboat Key Club on the golf side there. And I love the north end of Longboat Key. It's kind of an area that I've gravitated toward because over the years you feel like it's kind of far away in your drive, depending on where you're driving from. But the solitude, the larger lots, they were kind of lower in the price points, but I guess it's kind of caught up to the south end as well, and they're building a lot of great, beautiful, brand new luxury homes there. So walk to the beach, walk to the bodega. It's a rare find. It's rare to have that. So it kind of checks a lot of the boxes. If you're interested in North Longboat Key for purchasing or selling, of course, I'm your girl. Now let's compare your day-to-day on North Siesta Key. So from North Longboat Key, you drive all the way down, you get onto the mainland, and then you take the North Bridge. There's two bridges, much like Longboat Key, but Siesta Key has two drawbridges. So on the north side, you're going to be generally closer to Canal Road, and Canal Road area is, I just always say like Siesta Key is very Jimmy Buffett, relaxed, just tends to be a little bit younger than Longboat, although that's changing and the demographics have shifted over the years. Siesta Key tends to be equal parts all different ages, whereas the demographic on Longboat is a little bit older, like I said, getting younger, quieter. And the north end of Siesta in that Canal Road area, Midnight Pass, right there on the north side, you have more flexibility with higher turnover rental properties, whereas like on North Longboat Key, it's still under the Town of Longboat ordinance, generally 1 month minimum. Some of the condos mandate longer term rentals, so there's more restriction on the condos versus the homes, but generally 1 month. On North Siesta, you have weekly rentals and you have some more flexibility if that's, when you get a vacation home there. And you'll see more golf carts buzzing about. You have the Village, which is very relaxed and just a lot of like live music, very casual bars and restaurants. Again, younger demographically speaking. I would say the hot spot for like spring break would be more like Siesta Key than Longboat Key. So from the north side of Longboat Key, there's going to be public accesses where you can walk, bike, or drive. And then unlike Longboat Key, where there's no large public beach pavilion, Siesta Key, just south of the north side, has that large public, lots of parking, public beach access, and pavilions. And they're just two different, they're two completely different feels, and you're going from a golf course community island feeling to just a more free flowing, I hate to say hippie, it's not like the right word, just totally relaxed. And like Longboat Key's relaxed too, and people wear flip-flops and it's very like chill, but in a different way. You're gonna have more gated communities on Longboat Key. There are gated communities like on South Siesta Key as well, like the Sanderling Club and a few others like along the island. But, deciding between which island is a very personal thing. And I have found that when someone purchases on Longboat Key, they tend to just move around on Longboat Key for different phases and different reasons and times in their lives. The same thing with Siesta Key. They might say, well, let's try the condo life for a while and a little vacation place to come. And then they come more often than they think they will. That's another common theme. So they upgrade into a larger home. And then the family starts to come more, and then they need more room. And then eventually they downsize. And it kind of ebbs and flows like that. So, yeah, we've got all of these great beaches here because people forget about our beaches on Longboat Key too, because like on the north side, you've got very few areas to park, so it feels like more exclusive, kind of like it's more private feeling. Even though our area beaches are public, they feel more private because there's just very few accesses for people to park from the public to park. So I don't know if that helps explain outside of just coming here and driving around and experiencing for yourself, because you'll quickly find your preferred island. And like when I first moved here, I was in my 20s right out of college. So we all went to Siesta Key so much, and we didn't go to Longboat. But as I got older, I had an appreciation for Longboat. So it's just different strokes for different folks. And we really honestly do have something for everyone. And when people ask me the differences, I can quickly point out, like, Anna Maria has like 3-night minimum rental properties and like tons and tons of golf carts all around. People are always on the golf carts. Whereas you don't really see as much of that on Longboat Key, like really at all, like maybe the side streets. And you'll see a ton of that on ton of the golf carts buzzing about on North Siesta Key. And then we could talk about the other islands in another video, but I think that it's all good and it's all really pretty. And Sarasota has grown so much over the years, and there's a lot of amazing attributes to our local islands, and we want to preserve those. And I'm here to explain the differences and quickly narrow for my buyers too, because it can be really daunting when you're just like, I have no idea. And like, it could take you a while to drive around and explore these areas. I can quickly help you narrow down based on some questions and answers. And then you might get here and be like, I don't know, that doesn't really grab me. But generally I can get a feel from talking to people and their personalities of like pointing people in the right direction to start driving in certain areas so they're not like all over the place, to help you kind of land on where the best areas to purchase your real estate, because it's obviously a big investment. But buyers know what they like. It's not something I can really sell you, right? I know the market really well, and when we get into the nitty gritty of each particular house, I can really hone in my expertise for you. So hopefully that helps. And of course, if you've been coming to my channel for a long time, thank you. And if you're new, thank you. I would love for you to contact me, and I can be reached very easily, 941-544-7690. Thank you for listening, watching, sharing, and subscribing.